Hello everyone, welcome. Another tutorial here on how to make a wizard. Well, how to make lightning. And we're going to make this ball of lightning with these kind of blasts coming off this, and we'll make a core. And it's all done with so a little trick to make the lightning, then some adjustment layers and some polar coordinate filters and stuff, and it'll be fun. So here's our starting image. She's not quite a mage yet. We'll take her through the College of Winter Hold and she'll be shooting lightning in no time. Okay, first things first, create a new layer, Ctrl+j, just to be safe. Now let's make our lightning. So we'll make a new layer, have your default color selected, black in the foreground, white in the background. Then go up to Filter, Render, Clouds. And this is what we'll get. That works. Now what we want is our gradient tool, so hit G and come up here to your radial gradient. If you want to make a lightning bolt, like a line, you can select one of these linear ones, but we want the radial one for our ball of lightning. And make sure mode is set to difference. This is important. So with your mode set to difference, click on the middle of your image and drag out to the edge. Release, and there we go. We see this black ring that will become our lightning. And so, yeah, we're on our way. So to kind of up the contrast, we'll make a levels adjustment layer, drag the white down, and everything you'll kind of see starts to get knocked out. So I'm really dragging this down pretty far to about there, which is how I want my lightning to be, and we're already seeing it. So let's commit this levels 1 layer with Ctrl+e to do that. It'll bring it down. And I want my lightning to be white and everything else to be black. So I'm going to hit Ctrl+i to inverse everything. That looks cool. Now every wizard knows lightning is blue. Well, some do. Anyways, so I'm going to hit my hue saturation. Now I can mess with these all I want, but this layer I'm affecting is black and white, so it's not going to do anything. So I have to click this colorize box here. Now we can adjust our colors and we can see it in the image. So I'm going to select a nice blue, maybe up my saturation a bit. There we go. Looking cool. And I'm going to commit this again, so I can hit Ctrl+e, or I can right click here and right here merge down. That'll merge down. That's cool. Now to knock out all the black, all we have to do is select our blending mode from normal to screen. And there it goes. So it looks pretty good, but that's it's just a start. I want more lightning than this. So what I'm going to do is copy this layer, so I can hit Ctrl+j to do that, or drag down to the layer icon to make a new one. And I'm going to hit Ctrl+t to transform this. So I'm just going to rotate it because I want more lightning, and just kind of create a different look there. I'll hit enter to commit my transformation. Cool, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to combine these layers again, so either merge down or hit Ctrl+e, and then I'm going to do a duplicate layer again for what will become kind of the core, the inside of my lightning bolt, and I'll name it core, and then I'm going to turn that layer off just to, or invisible, just for later. So with layer 2, our main kind of lightning blast, what we want now is the blast. So we want those streaks coming off like we saw from the first image. And to do that, grab your move tool, and if your lightning ball isn't already in the middle, grab your move tool and center it in your image all together. So with it in the center, and you can come up here and use your line tools if you need, but I'm just going to eyeball it, and that works pretty well. So just get it right in the middle. And here comes kind of the tricky part with the polar coordinates and things. So I'll try to go be clear, but just follow the steps. What we're going to do is do polar coordinates, rotate the image, do the filter, rotate it back, and then kind of undo the polar coordinates, kind of. So let me show you what I mean. So let's come up here, filter, distort, polar coordinates. Now make sure, I'm going to zoom out, make sure you have polar to rectangular selected for the start. And what that kind of does is it turns our image inside out. So as you can kind of see from the preview. So click OK. Now we want a wind filter, and wind only goes left to right. So to do this, we have to rotate our image. So come up to image, image rotation, 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so now come up to filter, we'll apply our wind, and that's under stylize, wind. And there we can kind of see the blast already taking effect. So hit OK. Now that looks good, but I don't know that that will be enough wind, so I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to hit filter, wind right here, we'll apply our last filter, or Ctrl+F. So hit that, and it'll just make more wind. So now we're just going to kind of do our steps in reverse. So let's re-rotate our image. So image rotation, 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now come up to filter, distort, polar coordinates to get our energy ball back. Now instead of going polar to rectangular again, we want rectangular to polar for our energy ball. And there it is. Cool. Let me zoom in, kind of see what we got. And it looks okay. Maybe it's too much, but you know, you can always kind of play with these effects and get it to look exactly how you want. You know, just play around with it. But now what we're going to do is kind of make it small, fit in our hands. So I'm going to hit Ctrl+t, grab my anchor point up here, shrink it down. Actually, that looks pretty cool. Once we shrink it down, it looks neat. And once we'll bump the contrast up with the curves layer later, and it'll look good. So get it to just the right size, just how you want. We'll hit enter for that. Now we'll come back to our core for inside the energy ball. So select that. And I want the core to be a different color. So I'm going to make another hue saturation layer, and I'm going to make it like a nice purple. And don't worry that it's kind of affecting the whole image, because we're going to commit that anyways, and it'll affect only the layer below it, or merge down. But if you wanted to make a clipping mask, you could. With this black circle over the white one right here, we'll make a clipping mask, so the adjustment layer will only affect the layer right below it. So that's right there. Or if you don't have that, it's right up here to layer, clipping mask, release clipping mask, create clipping mask. So there we go. I'm going to make it like a bright, like pink purple color. Hit Ctrl+e to commit that down. Now I'm just going to transform it to be inside our energy ball, right about there. I'll hit enter to apply that. Zoom in here. Maybe make another copy of this. So hit Ctrl+j, move it around, maybe transform it a little bit. I'll hit enter for that. Cool, and it looks okay. Now with our energy ball, if we want kind of to create the overall effect of our entire image, let's create some curves layers. So it would probably emit a kind of blue light. So I made a curves adjustment layer, and come up here and select your blue channel and just bump up the blue light to your desired effect. Just bump it up a notch, and that looks okay. It looks kind of weird. Don't go crazy with this, because you can really throw everything off. And that looks okay. I'll make another curves adjustment layer, kind of darken everything. And as you can see, it kind of enhances the effect of our energy ball. So I'll zoom in on that, and you can kind of see it start to glow. But remember, keep your whole image in mind when you're doing this kind of thing. So I'll do that. And so I'm going to inverse the layer mask of our adjustment layer, and then grab my brush tool, and then with white selected, I'm just going to paint around kind of the outside, just to increase the dramatic effect of everything, and paint over that a little bit. Cool, so I think that looks pretty good. Now if you want to do some quick, maybe she's a super wizard and she can shoot lightning out of her eyes. So I'm going to do the first steps again with render clouds. Make a new layer, render clouds, filter, render clouds. Now with just a linear gradient tool, here's your gradient, grab a linear one, just make a small, click anywhere, make a small gradient. There's our lightning. Make a levels adjustment layer, zzz, bring it down. That looks good. Commit that with Ctrl+e, inverse it with Ctrl+i. Now let's colorize it. Remember, with our hue saturation, colorize, bring it up to our blue again, bump up saturation, commit that with Ctrl+e, apply the blending mode of screen, and there it is. So hit Ctrl+t to transform, and now we have lightning. I'm always a wizard in my whenever I play a role-playing game. It's like, oh, maybe I'll be a warrior this time. Like, nope, I want to shoot lightning. Wizard it is. So hit Ctrl+j for that. Oops. So there you go. I hope you enjoy. Play around with it a little bit. I'm going to delete those. That's terrible. But it's pretty fun. And once you get the hang of it, you can play around and make some pretty cool effects. So I hope you enjoyed. Till next time. Thank you.